Ok, muy buenas tardes. Nos complace presentar para esta conferencia, la conferencia que vamos a tener este día, es Soluciones Védicas para una vida feliz. Vida Ayurveda saluda y recibe con mucho gusto a Bhakti Nandan Swami Maharaj. Él empezó a estudiar a los 11 años sánscrito, filosofía védica y a practicar Bhakti Yoga. Bueno, había empezado desde antes, desde más pequeño, pero a los 11 años, bajo la guía de su maestro, Bhakti Nandan Swami Maharaj, uno de los más destacados representantes del pensamiento vedántico contemporáneo, particularmente maestro de la filosofía vedántica conocida como Achintya Veda Veda Tattva, que es uno de los enfoques más importantes de análisis o de estudio de los Vedas y pues él, Bhakti Nandan Maharaj, empezó a estudiar bajo esa guía, decíamos desde los 11 años. Posteriormente, con el apoyo de su maestro, estudió en la Universidad de Calcuta la licenciatura, el Bachelor of Arts, con áreas de concentración en filosofía, literatura, historia e inglés. Cuando su maestro abandonó este plano mortal, cuando falleció, Bhaktinandan Maharaj tomó los votos de vida renunciante, que en India es el equivalente a una vida monástica. De hecho, no es el equivalente, es una vida monástica como tal, y se ha dedicado desde entonces a difundir las enseñanzas que su maestro le heredó en ese esquema de sucesión discipular maestro-discípulo, y para ello ha viajado, pues bueno, empezando solo en India, no solo en todo India, sino también en países de Asia, en diferentes países de Asia, así como por los Estados Unidos, diferentes países europeos y América Latina. En esta ocasión nos visita por segunda vez a México, hace 7 años. 7 años no estuvo con nosotros, ahora regresa y pues estamos muy contentos, muy agradecidos con su visita, por lo cual pues vamos a empezar su conferencia, que nos ilustrará sobre la aplicación que tienen los Vedas para hacer una vida feliz en estos tiempos tan difíciles, tan agitados como es la vida contemporánea. Maharaj, please.
Om Ayamarambha Shubhaya Bhavatu. Ayamarambha Shubhaya Bhavatu. So, in the beginning, I offer my namaste, loving regards to all of you, the assembled devotees over here, and also the devotees present through Zoom meeting.
Hola a todos, para empezar les ofrezco a todos mi namaste y mis saludos amorosos a todos los que están en este Zoom meeting.
So I make today's auspicious beginning of my speech, of my lecture, after offering my respectful obeisances to my fellow Guru Maharaja, Guru Varga, and all the great spiritualist, exalted devotees of the Supreme Lord.
Hoy para empezar ofrezco mis respetos a todos mis maestros, a su maestro primero, para poder comenzar con esta serie de lecciones esta semana.
First of all, more particularly offer my... Okay. So, so again, offering my most respectful, loving regards to my Guru Pada Padma, all exalted devotees of the Supreme Lord. I'm going to start discussing on today's topics.
Ofreciendo todos mis respetos a todos mis maestros supremos, que son los que mencionó, él va a empezar hoy con sus lecciones de esta semana.
Today's topic of discussion is Vedic Solutions. Vedic Solutions for a happy life.
Yes, that's right.
El tema de hoy van a ser soluciones para una vida feliz.
In other words, Vedic Solutions to have a happy life or find the happiness of life.
En otras palabras, para tener una vida más feliz o para encontrar la manera de tener una vida más feliz.
So, dear assembled audience, devotees, first of all, we have to understand the definition of what is real happiness.
Entonces, primero que nada, tenemos que entender cuál es la definición real de felicidad.
So, unless and until we understand about the real definition, conception of the happiness, our understanding of today's topics will remain unclear. So, let us first try to understand about the real definition, the conceptions of the happiness of human life.
Entonces, hasta que no entendamos qué es realmente la felicidad, no vamos a tener una idea de cómo llevarlo a cabo. Entonces, en este momento vamos a entender la felicidad en su concepción en esta vida humana.
See, there are different types of happiness in our lives. I repeat, different types, different levels, natures of happiness in our life.
Entonces, hay diferentes tipos de felicidad. Por decirlo de otra manera, voy a repetirlo, es que hay diferentes niveles de felicidad.
In general, commonly, we understand, having good sense gratification, is our happiness. But actually, the happiness we receive, our sense gratification, in other words, sense enjoyment, is not the full picture concept of human happiness.
Normalmente nosotros entendemos como felicidad la gratitud, pero el hecho de tener gratitud o tener gozo no siempre es la imagen completa de la felicidad.
The type of happiness, or the kind of happiness or quality of happiness we receive from our sense gratifications, sense enjoyment, or from the experience of perception is just a part of the happiness of our life.
La sensación que nos da la felicidad desde la gratitud o desde la felicidad o desde momentos no es exactamente lo mejor que hay sobre la felicidad.
Right. But the greater greater conception, or the more complete conception of the happiness of human lives include several other important aspects.
La foto más grande de la concepción de la felicidad contiene muchos más grandes y importantes aspectos.
See, we receive happiness. In other words, yes, we experience happiness through our sense enjoyment, sense gratification. At the same time, we also enjoy happiness from our mental plane when our not just body, not just our senses are enjoying something. We feel happy, but also when our mind feels happy, then we feel happier. So our happiness, the complete conception of human happiness is actually related to bodily happiness, mental happiness, also spiritual happiness.
recibimos felicidad en un plano mental, pero no solo en el cuerpo, sino también en los sentidos. Y tenemos que hacer que nuestra mente se sienta feliz. Entonces, la foto completa es cuerpo, mente y sentidos.
Again. So, sometimes, mostly, commonly, we the people think, okay, having great sense enjoyment, sense gratification is our happiness of life. But then what we see, as soon as there is some kind of misuse in the field of sense gratifications or sensual enjoyment, instead of making us happy, it rather brings sickness.
A veces comúnmente la gente piensa que tener gratitud es nuestra felicidad, pero a veces lo vemos desde un lado malo de los sentimientos y también se puede sentir como enfermedad.
So accepting material happiness through sense enjoyment has got a limit. And so one has to know how to receive it in an appropriate way without any misuse. Then what happens? Then we receive some healthy happiness from our necessary, needed, proper sense enjoyment. But as soon as we have any over sense enjoyment, sense gratification, then it makes us sick. It brings some sickness instead of happiness.
Tenemos que saber cómo recibir esa capacidad para tener una felicidad sana, en lugar de tenerla desde un punto en el que nos hace sentir enfermos o que no nos hace sentir realmente bien.
Therefore, throughout the Holy Scriptures and in the words of the wise persons, great saintly people, persons we call sadhus, we see, understand. In other words, we see in the words of the great realized souls and the intelligent, wise people that have necessary self-control. It is always required for all the human beings to have some necessary self-control, to keep balance in our acceptance of the happiness through sense gratification, so that it doesn't become excessive, and without any balance, crossing the limit, and then causing sickness. So that it is maintained, our way of acceptance of happiness from sense enjoyment remains very balanced with self-control.
Entonces, desde las escrituras de maestros que tenemos en la India, que son gente inteligente y sabia, tenemos que tener control de la salud y tener balance en nuestra aceptación por obtener gratitud, y así no cruzar límites. Tenemos que aceptar la gratitud desde una manera sana.
The Holy Scriptures and the holy wise men always advise us to accept the happiness, material happiness through sense enjoyment in our life proportionately. Accept it in a more balanced, proportionate, appropriate manner as it is required for our maintenance of the for biological health, mental health. So don't accept it in excessive manner, crossing the limit. Then it will make you unhappy instead of happiness. So we've got many examples. They also give us examples taken from the life that, suppose when you are taking a tonic medicine, you have to take it proper dosage. As soon as you take any medicine, even health tonic, in overdosage, it's not good for health. Okay, so also when you want to have some happiness, you are receiving some happiness through sense enjoyment, some sense gratification. So you have to just understand where to begin and where to stop. Accept as per your necessity, okay, as per your requirement. Don't accept, don't take an overdosage way, okay, excessive way. Then it will be turning as unhappiness, rather make you unhappy. It is important to have self-control. This way, healthy self-control, sense control, controlling over the sense enjoyment and all this, then it will be more wise.
Las escrituras nos aconsejan a aceptar el sentido de felicidad proporcionalmente y apropiadamente y a tener mantenimiento de la salud biológica. Así que no la aceptes de manera excesiva. Tenemos muchos ejemplos de vida que suponen que cuando tienes medicina, por ejemplo, cuando tienes que tomar medicina, debe ser en las proporciones correctas, porque si las pasas te pueden hacer daño. De la misma manera con la felicidad, debes entender dónde comenzar y dónde parar, y así no tener una sobredosis. De esta manera encuentras control en ti mismo y esto es más sabio.
This is the yogic way. It's a high-class yogic way of accepting material happiness as long as we are living on this material plane, happiness from our material surroundings, or our senses, our family life, as per it is needed to maintain or sustain, okay, sustain our life, okay. So that is called a method of yukta vairagyam, following a more balanced path, a balanced way or balanced principle.
Esto es un yógico de aceptar que hay un balance entre la felicidad material, familia, amigos, etc. Esto puede ser bueno para sostener nuestra vida. Tenemos que tener un balance apropiado.
So, now back to the point. So aside from the happiness we derive through sense enjoyment, is greater happiness. The great realized personalities, wise personalities said to us that we have discovered a greater happiness in our lives, and that can be derived rather, okay, from mental plane and more than mental plane, higher than mental plane, and deeper than mental plane, from the core, from the depth of our soul, plane of soul and super soul, it is quite possible to discover higher kind of happiness or greater type of happiness from the level of our soul and super soul, our original fundamental existence.
Es buena la felicidad que llega desde un sentido de ánimo, pero es mucho mejor cuando llega de un grado mental. Y más allá de un grado mental, tiene que ser desde el fondo de nuestra alma, desde muy en el fondo, y descubrir que este es un mayor nivel de felicidad. Es el más alto.
So, our real happiness, greater happiness, which is connected to spirituality, spiritual experience, is found at the plane of soul, super soul level. Okay, it can be discovered through higher spiritual cultivations.
Entonces, la verdadera felicidad y más grande está conectada con una experiencia espiritual, a un nivel de alma, de super alma, muy conectado.
Many times, okay, under many time, places, situations, and many, many occasions, the external things cannot really make us happy. External material things, material objects of our enjoyment cannot really or make us fully happy. Something is always missing. And that missing person is vast. And that is found more from within. That missing portion, vast missing portion of happiness should be found from within, from the core of our heart, from the level of, from the deeper level of soul and super soul. And this has been proven through the experience of the realized souls who actually experience such greater and deeper, higher happiness of human life, following the higher spiritual ways, such as yogic ways, okay, such as through meditation, through devotional activities, higher devotional, spiritual activities, divine activities of life.
Muchas veces lugares o situaciones nos pueden hacer feliz de una manera externa, pero no completamente. Algo suele siempre faltar y eso se encuentra adentro, esa parte se encuentra dentro de nosotros, en nuestra alma, en nuestro corazón. Esto se ha probado y también se ha probado que mediante cosas más espirituales como la meditación, la yoga y cosas más divinas, esto se mejora. O sea, este hueco se puede llenar.
In other words, so thus we have got different aspects of happiness of human life, material aspects, mental aspects, spiritual aspects. Spiritual aspects is also called in other words as divine qualities of happiness. So while all such happinesses get combined together, then it creates the full picture of happiness of human life. In other words, it's more complete conception of human happiness.
Tenemos diferentes aspectos de felicidad, mentales y espirituales, por llamarlo de otra forma, maneras divinas. Esta espiritualidad crea una imagen más completa de lo que puede ser la felicidad.
So see, we understand this simple fact. In spite of trying hard, we do not feel so happy. We put, out of 100%, we put like 90 to 95% time, energy, okay, to keep ourselves happy, find happiness. But actually, mostly what we find, what we are faced with, out of 100%, we are faced with at least 90 to 95% unhappiness, and only 5% happiness of life, pure happiness. And that 5% happiness also not staying, maintained well in our life. Such is the experience of this mundane world. So when we are trying to strive for happiness, receive happiness, so we are trying for 100%. So 90% no happiness, only maybe 10% we receive some happiness. Okay, but that 10% happiness also doesn't continue in our life. It is also gone. So having happiness in human life considered so invaluable.
Entendemos por hecho que a pesar de que ponemos toda nuestra energía, nuestro 100% para ser felices, normalmente nos damos cuenta que por lo menos el 95% no es felicidad en este mundo mundano en el que vivimos. Y a veces es un 5 o 10% de felicidad lo que llegamos a tener, Y a veces esto no se queda, es solo una pequeña parte y no lo podemos dejar en nuestra vida, a veces se va. Entonces, así es como vivimos, dando ese 100%, pero no siempre lo obtenemos de regreso con felicidad.
Hence, the reality is this. Most of the reality is this. On this plane of mundane existence, in other words, on this worldly level of our existence, okay, although we are looking for a good amount of happiness, we actually don't have that. Okay, so our Vedic philosophy, our Vedic wisdom points out to that. Look, okay, this is not the plane. This mundane plane is not the very ideal plane to receive real happiness of life. You need to discover it. You need to search, look for it on higher plane of spirituality, higher divine plane. Okay, so then only you can derive real happiness, find real happiness from the level of soul, super soul, from the level of divinity, our divine existence, beyond this mundane existence of life. And those wise persons, great devotees of Lord, actually discovered such higher happiness, profound, much deeper happiness in their life. And they told us about, they spoke to us about, and they wanted to inspire us to go for it, go for achieving, attaining the transcendental happiness, the high class, super excellent kind of divine happiness in life. When we can receive that, as we can have that in life, then only we can claim ourselves to be really happy. Then only we know we have real happiness, happiness of life.
La realidad es que en esta existencia mundana, aunque buscamos felicidad, a veces no la tenemos. La filosofía Vedic dice que en este mundo, no es el plano correcto para recibir felicidad, que tenemos que buscarla en un plano más alto, en la existencia divina y en el alma. Los sabios han encontrado una felicidad más profunda y quieren inspirarnos a encontrar esa felicidad trascendental, donde podamos recibirla, tenerla y quedárnosla para proclamarnos realmente felices.
And precisely, let me explain this. Precisely, let me explain this, tell you all this, that the highest type, highest quality of happiness, highest super excellent quality of divine happiness can be only attained through the divine love of God, ecstatic love of God. Okay? And there has been no doubt about it. This has been realized, this fact, this self-evident truth has been realized by the many great realized souls, exalted, wise persons, that the real, ultimate, complete happiness, full-fledged, unlimited happiness of divine nature. In other words, happiness of perfection can only be attained through ecstatic love of God, blissful love of Krishna. So,
Y precisamente la calidad más alta de felicidad puede ser solamente alcanzada con el amor de Dios, y no hay duda de ello. Esta verdad ha sido encontrada por varias personas, esta divinidad completa y natural que puede ser llamada también felicidad, y solo puede ser alcanzada a través de este gran amor.
see, so today's topic of discussion is solutions, Vedic solutions for happy life, happiness. So see.
Entonces,
Yes.
entonces el tema de hoy son soluciones védicas para alcanzar la felicidad.
Yes. So in the process of analyzing about that, in the process of explanations, I must first point out towards the truth that there are do's and don'ts. I repeat, there are do's and do nots already presented by Vedic wisdom. Okay, so we must have to follow.
En el proceso de analizar esto, mi primer punto es que la verdad hay cosas que debes y no debes hacer. Y esto lo debemos seguir.
You know, whenever we do something nice, whenever we go, we're doing something healthy, very creative, okay, and developing in our life, doing any big project, we do it very systematic, disciplined manner, okay, following all the do's and do nots, what should be done, what not to be done. So in the field of really keeping us happy, in other words, so in this connection of while we really want to keep us happy, we also need to follow the do's and do nots as recommended by the Vedic wisdom.
Cuando hacemos algo bueno, sano, creativo, lo hacemos de manera sistemática, siguiendo lo que debes y no debes hacer. Entonces, esto es lo mismo que debemos seguir en busca de la felicidad de acuerdo a la sabiduría védica.
First of all, we have to understand what are not good to be done and what are really good to be done. In other words, we have to understand that which are the ways, okay, we can accept in our life through which we can derive great happiness, and which are the ways to not be working out to bring happiness, rather bring unhappiness. So we must eliminate, in order to accept the appropriate ways of receiving our happiness, we also know what are the ways to eliminate which causes unhappiness. So that way we must make progress.
Tenemos que entender qué no es bueno hacer y lo que sí. Tenemos que entender las formas en las que debemos buscar la felicidad para aprender a aceptarla de manera apropiada. Y para recibir esto debemos de eliminar todas las maneras que son inadecuadas de buscar la felicidad.
Yes. Because in this mundane world, on this mundane level of human existence, okay, we suffer from a lot of sickness, bodily sickness, mental sickness. If we truly look into our lifestyle, we often are suffering from different types of sickness. The amount, the quantity of our suffering is more than our healthy life, more than our happy life. This is the truth.
En este mundo sufrimos de muchas enfermedades físicas y mentales, y si vemos nuestro estilo de vida podemos encontrar que la cantidad de nuestro sufrimiento, y de nuestras enfermedades a veces es más grande que nuestros niveles de felicidad.
So just as in the field of treatment, in other words, just as while we're undergoing through some treatment, health treatment, due to our sickness and all. Okay, as we take the remedies, follow our doctors, follow the doctor's advice of accepting our remedies, medicines, the health principles. In a similar way, we also have to strictly follow what are prohibited. Okay, so it cannot be like that. Oh, we'll be following healthy principles at the same time, also following some bad, unhealthy principles, unhealthy ways of life together. Then our sickness cannot be cured. So in the process of curing ourselves, okay, as we will be following the positive ways of the treatments from the doctor, like taking medicines, taking the remedies, and following all the health principles recommended by the doctor. At the same time, we also need to, strictly follow what are not to be done, the prohibitions. Then only we can recover very soon. We can be cured. We can receive our health. But if we continue both self-contradictory ways together, like also continuing the unhealthy ways, unhealthy habits, which causing my sickness. At the same time, we're also taking some treatment from the doctors, health prescription, following health prescriptions and healthy principles together. Then we cannot be properly cured. We must reject the unhealthy ways of living our life and only live the healthy ways. Then only we can receive health, can enjoy the happiness of our health.
Cuando estamos en un tratamiento de enfermedades y vamos al doctor, recibimos remedios o medicinas para obtener salud. Asimismo nos dicen lo que está prohibido. Porque siguiendo cosas sanas e insanas al mismo tiempo en nuestro proceso, no vamos a ser sanados. Asimismo, debemos ser muy estrictos en seguir las prohibiciones, porque si hacemos las cosas que nos dañan y nos sanan al mismo tiempo, nunca vamos a ser sanados. Debemos sacar definitivamente todo lo que nos daña y seguir al pie de la letra las cosas que son buenas.
Therefore, in order to keep us really happy, in order to bring the real higher quality happiness in our lives, the Vedic wisdom directs us, guides us with certain principles containing do's and do nots. What you ought to do, you should do, what you should not do, very strictly. Through the process of having self-control, self-assimilations, alongside self-realizations. Then only so that our happiness can be promoted, we can enter into the world of our high quality happiness, true happiness of life, beyond just limited material happiness.
Para mantenernos realmente felices en nuestras vidas, la sabiduría nos guía para saber lo que debemos y no debemos hacer muy estrictamente. En este proceso debe haber control de uno mismo. Así podemos entrar a un plano de felicidad completa más alto que lo que hay en este mundo.
Vedas says, okay, now I'm going into more analytical explanation. Try to, for example, we the human beings in this worldly plane are all more or less afraid of death. We feel so sad, unhappy about our sickness, about the experience of our sickness and fear of death, fear of being betrayed, cheated, and not only just fear, facing the experience of betraying, cheatings, exploitations, Okay, exploitation, social exploitations, environmental, okay, social exploitations, and also some other kinds of exploitations we find in human lives. Then also environmental distresses, in other words, adverse situations, circumstances. So often we remain very unhappy. We're living with the experience of a lot of unhappiness and distresses, okay, difficulties, sufferings. Okay, so although just receiving some temporary happiness from some sense enjoyment or some family relationship, okay, some nice exchanges with the near and dear family members, and other ways, social way, but the amount, the quantity and quality of happiness is so meager, so small, so inadequate compared to what happiness we really want to have in life, compared to the higher quality, greater amount of happiness we always want to have, but it's not satisfied.
Voy a ser un poco más analítico. Por ejemplo, somos seres humanos y de una u otra manera tenemos miedo de morir, nos sentimos tristes a veces, de algunas experiencias y enfermedades, de que podemos ser traicionados o a veces engañados, y no solo tenemos a veces miedo de morir, sino de muchas cosas más, de situaciones y de circunstancias que nos pueden entristecer y hacernos sufrir. Pero a pesar de eso, a veces tenemos intercambios buenos de ánimos con nuestras familias o a nuestro alrededor y nos da felicidad, pero esa felicidad no es felicidad de calidad. Esa es inadecuada comparada con toda la felicidad que realmente podemos conseguir en otro plano.
So let's analyze in the first place. For example, see, Vedic wisdom, or Vedic scriptures says, see, just like food-wise, and let's explain how Vedic wisdom presents some solutions in various ways, okay, in our day-to-day living of life, such as food-wise, clearly saying there are three kinds of foods. Foods in the mode of foods of sattvic quality, rajasic quality, tamasic quality. In other words, foods in the mode of goodness, in the mode of passion, in the mode of ignorance. So, and we know food is one of the most important things in our life to maintain, sustain, nurture our life. In many ways, at least in some ways, we are what we eat. So the food choice, in order to live a healthy, happy life, is a must. And Vedic wisdom gives directions, okay, about our choice of food, specifically through Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna, giving clear directions by presenting before us the three qualities of foodstuffs. Okay, one in the mode of goodness, then in the mode of passion and the mode of ignorance. Lord Krishna tells us always to choose the foodstuffs we eat in the mode of goodness. Then we can receive the higher, we can enjoy the higher health, enjoy better health, better happiness by eating those foodstuffs. We can maintain our body in a better condition, we enjoy better happiness.
Bueno, ahora expliquemos y analicemos. La sabiduría védica presenta soluciones en nuestra vida y en nuestra manera de vivirla. Por ejemplo, la comida. Nosotros tenemos tres cualidades: buena, ignorante y personal. La comida nos sostiene, somos lo que comemos y debemos ser sabios al elegirla. Debemos tener una dirección clara para tener a nuestro cuerpo sano.
So as you read Srimad Bhagavad Gita, you can find them out. I'm not going into details explanation, it will be taking time, lot of time. So please go through that particular section in Bhagavad Gita where Lord Krishna clearly explains through three categories: the Sattvik, Rajasic, Tamasic, living our life in the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, in the mode of ignorance. So he explained that not only in relation to food, connection with foodstuffs, but also in connection with our lifestyle. He gave us the better conception, comparative conceptions of our different types of lifestyles in the mode of ignorance, mode of passion, and finally in the mode of goodness. So as you read from Bhagavad Gita, you can have all the details analysis, all of them.
Claramente explicando estas tres categorías de comida, que es en bondad, en pasión e ignorancia, debemos conectar la comida con nuestros estilos de vida.
Yes, I spoke long time. Okay, summary you did. Okay, so I repeat, Lord Krishna always recommends, you accept, choose, select a lifestyle more in the mode of goodness, eliminating the lifestyle to live a lifestyle in the mode of passion or ignorance. Why? Because living, going on with living the lifestyles in the mode of ignorance or passion always brings to you much more unhappiness compared to the amount or quality of happiness. So it's not a good idea. It's not a wise way to live that kind of lifestyle, because as a reaction, you will be receiving more unhappiness, more suffering, instead of having a happy life.
Entonces, acepta, elige un estilo de vida en el modo de la bondad en lugar de la ignorancia. Si seguimos un estilo de vida desde el modo de la ignorancia, esto nos lleva a la infelicidad. Con esto no vas a alcanzar nunca el siguiente nivel, que es el que buscamos.
Therefore, you see, the higher intelligent persons, the high class intelligent people, wise people, always make a right choice about the lifestyle, what lifestyle they are going to live. Lifestyle must be good. It must be intelligently chosen as befitting to your nature. Okay, it must be high class in connection, finally, in connection with divinity, higher spiritual qualities. Then you can really have a happy life if you follow this Vedic way. So Veda giving solution. But if you don't follow, you will stay unhappy. So you have to accept the solution. Okay, solution given by the Vedic wisdom. The great yogis, great saintly personalities, greatly wise persons live the lifestyle of higher quality, this very high class, sattvic class, other words, in the mode of goodness, and they enjoy so much happiness, so much more happiness compared to the lifestyles lived by the common people, mostly in the mode of ignorance and passion, which have got so many side effects. Such living lifestyles in the mode of ignorance and passion have got so many side effects, bad reactions, although temporarily they feel to be, oh, good, I'm enjoying. It's very temporary, but in reaction, or something bad happens in reaction, we get sick. Okay. Examples like drinking alcohol, taking intoxication, or sometimes eating spicy food, junk food, so-called tasty junk food, okay, drinking something unhealthy, apparently tasty, we like it, but in reaction, they don't bring health. Rather, they bring unhappiness, suffering of the health, sickness of health. Because most of the people cannot have the good control over their lifestyle, therefore they are suffering so many from different types of sickness, like cancer, they go all different types of bad sicknesses, although they are eating nicely. Everyday life, they are enjoying their life, having drinks, eating nicely, they are feeling like that. But it's not wisely chosen lifestyle. Okay, rather it is like a more imbalanced type, wild type, less intelligent lifestyle, just going by the passion of sense enjoyment, some greed, avoiding the real healthy lifestyle, healthy type of living. I'm not talking just only food-wise, sleeping-wise, or general life conduct in the society, okay, our social life, our everyday life practices, including all.
La gente sabia siempre hace una selección correcta del estilo de vida que se ajuste a su naturaleza. Debe ser en conexión con la divinidad y la espiritualidad. Si sigues la sabiduría védica, si sigues la sabiduría védica, debes aceptar la salud de la gente sabia que vive este estilo de vida y que disfruta mucho comparado con la gente común que vive comiendo desde la ignorancia y después tienen efectos secundarios negativos. Y esto a veces les trae un disfrute temporal, pero después puede haber enfermedades. Por ejemplo, viven comiendo comida chatarra, alcohol, comida que aparentemente es rica, pero que no trae salud. Y las enfermedades no nos dan felicidad. Hay muchas personas que viven comiendo cosas deliciosas, entre comillas, pero sin balances y evadiendo lo que es saludable. Y no solo estoy hablando de comida, es todo, es el sueño, es la sociedad, es lo que tenemos a nuestro alrededor.
So see, in this modern age, also in the recent past, because of receiving some lights of the Vedic wisdom from the Eastern countries, specifically from the Indian field, I repeat, because of the many New Age people receiving the lights of Vedic wisdom, Eastern wisdom. So because of having such facilities, their eyes are open, they're more mind and heart are more open to the facts that we must live a more high-class natural life instead of artificial lives, which is controlled by artificial technologies, artificial, ways, social ways. So today they not only believe, today with that higher opening in their lives, so they can also, not only they believe, they experience that living a very natural lifestyle, which is more conducive, which flows more in harmony with the nature, ecosystem, and living See, and choosing the life which is more befitting to our nature, Mother Nature, and befitting to our biological nature, okay, like pure food, good healthy food, healthy drinks, instead of just junk food or spicy stuffs. Also, okay, having a yogic lifestyle, which is very balanced, having good food, good sleep, good association, having some living a life with some good yogas, bodily yogas, mental yogas, yogic stretches and meditation, all these. Okay. And taking more natural medicines to cure our sickness instead of always taking, artificial chemicals, allopathic chemical medicines, which have got so much reactions. It cures little bit, but due to its side effect, by the cause of its side effects, or it creates another sickness. In the process of, curing one disease, one sickness, while we use all these artificial chemicals, allopathic medicine, or they have got so much side effects and reaction, it brings another type of sickness. Then we have to take another medicine to cure that sickness. Again, by reaction of that same medicine, another new sickness coming, going on and on. These are not solutions. So Vedic wisdom giving solution. No, don't do that. Follow the natural process of treatment, natural ways of treatment, like Ayurvedic treatment, homeopathy, biochemic, more natural. Many of them do not have any side effects because they are natural. They are naturally created by the Supreme God to support human beings, promote human health, because it is a fact. As God created human beings, He also created conducive environment for the human beings to live this happy life, healthy life. Okay, no artificial creation. But when human beings create many things artificial way, they market it and they promote it, it's got side effects and reactions. And people are suffering a lot of reactions this way because of leading artificial lives. Okay, so these days many people are getting more wise, receiving some lights from the Vedic wisdom, lights of the solution, that they should be rather living a more natural life, high class, better life, more healthy life, avoiding all types of artificial, unhealthy lives, passionate life. Okay, so that is a good sign in this modern era. Okay, a happy sign.
En esta modernidad hay mucha gente ahora recibiendo toda esta sabiduría. Hay mucha gente abierta a vivir más allá de lo artificial. La gente cree que vivir una vida natural y estar conectados con la naturaleza, la madre naturaleza, es mejor. Hay mucha gente escogiendo comer, beber y vivir de una manera más natural, teniendo una vida yogi, que es más balanceada, hacen estiramientos, meditaciones y toman medicamentos más naturales en lugar de tomar químicos, que pues realmente sabemos que estos químicos a veces tienen efectos secundarios. Entonces hay mucha gente muy sabia que está decidiendo evadir esto. No debemos usar todos estos químicos con la finalidad de curarnos porque nos pueden traer otras consecuencias. Hay que seguir las maneras védicas más naturales, creadas por Dios para apoyar a los humanos. Así como Él nos creó, también ha creado maneras naturales para curarnos. La gente en esta modernidad está eligiendo tener esta vida más sabia, más natural, y eso es como de un buen agüero.
So Vedic wisdom also explains nicely. I'm not going into quoting all the details on Sanskrit verses, it will take time. So, okay, just explain.
Voy a explicar lo que dice la sabiduría védica. No voy a entrar en muchísimos detalles porque tomaría mucho tiempo, pero aún así lo voy a hacer.
That there are illusions of happiness and real happiness. In other words, there are illusory ways of happiness and real happiness. So, many people in the society, they simply live under certain illusory experience of happiness instead of real happiness. That's the problem. And Vedic wisdom gives solution to that. For example, I can explain through common examples, like drug addictions, any type of bad intoxications, okay, or any taking excessive drinks, drinking alcohol and all. Not only that, eating, meat products, non-veg foodstuffs, and in many ways eating junk foods, just for the enjoyment or having some excessive sense enjoyment, not going to sleep proper at the proper time, okay, and always absorbed in the internet through mobile and all these. And, having some excessive greed, and out of greediness, living a more passionate life, and passionate to more life of ignorance, mode of ignorance. So I can explain, you can see many such examples that people are thinking, oh, I'm having great time, great enjoyment, then having less sleep, no time for sleep. Then they need to keep proper time for taking care of their health, but they are busily engaged in only taking care of their job, no time for looking after health. Okay, so much time they're spending absorbed in the internet, feeling happy, thinking I'm feeling so happy because they're enjoying, they think they're enjoying. But while the reaction, I can give many examples. Eating spicy junk food, okay, think, oh, tasty, very good. But as a result, some sickness coming, stomach sickness coming, body is not having proper nutrition, suffering from malnutrition, the whole body is affected, brain is affected, and no proper sleep, mind is affected. Moreover, tensions of the time crisis, all this coming. So Vedic wisdom actually prohibiting to live this kind of lifestyle. No, it's not good lifestyle. It will take away, slow but steady way, it will take away your longevity, reduce your longevity. It will make you sick. Although you are thinking you are living a great life, you are enjoying life, you are doing it for your happiness, you are living under illusion. It brings some happiness temporarily, but in exchange of a very temporary, small happiness, and rather some illusion of happiness, when we start having reaction, then you understand, oh, I'm so unhappy, getting so unhappy. I don't like this lifetime. I'm not feeling good. I'm not really happy. Why? Because they lose balance. They lose self-control. They lose balance. They do not follow a balanced, harmonious, healthy lifestyle, living under illusion of happiness, excessive sense enjoyment, or whimsical enjoyments without following intelligent ways of the recommended by the Vedic wisdom and higher wisdom. So this is called the illusion of happiness instead of real happiness, because it's not all-rounded happiness. Little happiness, as a result, in reaction, big suffering coming. Instead of taking little happiness, so much unhappiness coming. So Vedic wisdom is prohibiting. Don't do it. I know you have to summarize.
Hay mucha gente que vive en la ilusión de ser feliz. Y esto no es verdad. Por ejemplo, la drogadicción, el exceso de alcohol, la gente que come excesivamente productos animales solo por el disfrute. Solo por el disfrute, a veces la gente no duerme apropiadamente, hay obsesión por teléfonos y tecnología, etc. Viven una vida pues una vida de ignorancia y piensan que son felices y prefieren, por ejemplo, ser felices desvelándose que dormir. En lugar de su salud, toman la decisión de ocupar todo su tiempo en trabajar. Saben que la comida pesada les cae mal, pero aún así la comen. Y entonces la sabiduría védica lo que hace es que, lo que dice, perdón, es que todo esto va a reducir tu longevidad. Aunque piensas que estás teniendo felicidad, esto es una cosa temporal. Esto es la ilusión de ser feliz. Y después pierden el control de la salud y su balance, y ahí vienen las consecuencias, vienen enfermedades. Esto es lo que llamamos la ilusión de felicidad, y toman solo un poco y eso rompe todo el ciclo de lo que la sabiduría védica habla.
See, there's a saying, living under bliss of ignorance. So it means it's not real bliss, but living in bliss of ignorance. People think it is bliss, but it's not actual bliss. Illusion of bliss. Therefore, it's called living in bliss of ignorance, not in wisdom. But real bliss is found in wisdom, in the world of wisdom, in the world of intelligence. Because a true bliss, true knowledge, in other words, wisdom, true health, all actually live together, okay, harmoniously. But true intelligence, lights of true intelligence, true knowledge, okay, and our health principles, all actually bring us great happiness. True bliss. Happiness means the other definition of the true happiness means ecstasy, bliss. The high level of the human happiness actually ends, culminates in ecstasy and bliss. So happiness is connected to the life of bliss. So high-class spiritual happiness is considered bliss. So see, living under bliss of ignorance is not, or living under happiness of ignorance is not living in real happiness. We have to understand it first place.
Hay un dicho que dice que la ignorancia es una dicha, pero realmente no es así. La dicha viene de otros lugares, viene de la salud. Eso nos trae felicidad. La felicidad y la dicha están conectadas a través del éxtasis, por decirlo de alguna manera. Vivir bajo la dicha de la ignorancia no es para nada bueno. De hecho, tenemos que buscar perder la ignorancia.
People think if they make money, more and more money, it will make them happy. At some point they realize, no, money cannot. It can bring some sort of happiness, but it cannot really bring real happiness of life. Okay, it is just a little bit helpful, somewhat helpful to keep us happy. But while we're looking for a complete quality happiness, just making money, only making money cannot bring that. People think, okay, if we have so many cars, big house, having, okay, collecting so much money and taking so much sense gratification, enjoyment, that is the way that will keep me very happy. Then at some point, the same people realize it is not that what they thought of. Not that what they thought of. Then they look for other proper ways, appropriate ways of the real happiness. Because we understand, primarily making lots of money makes us happy. Why? Because money helps us to receive more sense gratification, sense enjoyment, to live our life, helps us. But suppose such situation arrives, the money is no more working. Okay, in exchange of money, you cannot get food or water to drink or place to live. Then money will have no help. Then even a drop of water will have so much value. Okay, because money is valuable, considered valuable, because in exchange of that, it's not value for money, for the notes or bucks, but because in exchange of that, we can receive food, water, living, so many things for enjoyment. There lies some happiness, not in money making, okay, because we can enjoy facilities. So, but at some point we realize that money cannot buy all the facilities of life. Cannot buy. So it cannot buy the happiness of all other facilities of life. We can only, those facilities for our life's happiness, we can only have from within, from our self-happiness, from our positive mood, positive thought, positive feelings, okay, from the depth of our life. So as we are able to cultivate so higher positive feelings, positive thoughts, positive realizations in our life, okay, from the depth of our heart and soul, our human existence, then we can feel so peaceful and happy. So happiness doesn't necessarily fully depend on the external stuffs, but it's so much dependent on the inner satisfaction, higher inner satisfaction, introspective lifestyle. In other words, not happiness, human happiness is not dependent on the objective things, material objects, but very much dependent on our subjective feelings. The main recipient, which is I, which are we are the main recipients. So recipients have got a great vital role to create happiness from within, some superior ability, a beautiful ability, beautiful power of feeling happiness from within, discovering, finding out, even creating happiness from within, from our fundamental identity. Soul is there. It is given by Lord. All we need to discover it through sadhana, through higher spiritual practices. Then we can be really happy when we can feel happy from within, not only without. Okay? When our happiness derived from objective elements, from material levels, from our sense gratification. Also, while the happiness from within, from the level of soul, higher spiritual happiness and peace will be discovered, and they will get combined together. Then we can be really happy. And Vedic wisdom points that out. Live a balanced, ideal life. I repeat, always try to live very well-balanced, ideal lifestyle, which combines your wellness, your well-being of body, mind, and spirit. Not just bodily well-being, not just your physical well-being, but you should equally be conscious. You should be equally conscious of your mental wellness, mental well-being, and thereafter spiritual well-being, because our existence is the combination or unification of body, mind, and spirit. We all understand these days. We often are so conscious and so particular about our bodily wellness, physical wellness. Often we don't take proper care of our mental health, but to speak more of spiritual health. But it is equally important, rather more important, to take care of the mental health and spiritual health. If our mind is all right, if our mind is very healthy, then it stays happy, then we can easily, take up the bodily challenges. If our mind is happy, we can manage bodily sickness. But if our mind is very unhappy, body is happy, then body also cannot stay happy. So body, mind, spirit, they are so interrelated. So Vedic wisdom says you must take care of the health of body, mind, and spirit, and then you can be happy on these three levels. When you become happy on your three planes of existence, then you are really happy. Otherwise, real happiness cannot come. You cannot be really happy. Because health is all right. We find many people having strong health, but mentally not happy. They're not happy. They cannot be called happy. Rather, some people who are mentally very happy, bodily bit sick, although they are unhappy due to sickness, but overall they are happy, mentally happy. So that is more preferable. So see, if body is hard, people don't commit suicide because of hurting, injury in the body. But if mind is hard, they don't want to live. They commit suicide. All joy is gone. So see, mental health, mental happiness is more important. And more than that, spiritual happiness. If we cannot discover our spiritual happiness, okay, then our happiness remains very incomplete and fragile, very futile. And Vedic wisdom says, these are all temporary happiness. You look for eternal happiness of eternal life divine. Don't remain satisfied with just your small, temporary, fleeting happiness. Okay, it is so temporary and fleeting. Okay, so futile. Don't remain satisfied with just your futile happiness. Look for, embrace your high-class spiritual happiness, which is transcending the material limits of life. And as you embrace that life, okay, that happiness, then only you can be really happy. Because okay, you're truly happy. Now you can experience quality of happiness, which is that of eternal type, eternal nature, high-class spiritual nature, and that of with the feeling of bliss. Okay, because happiness can be ordinary and can be bliss also. So go for that quality of happiness. So Vedic wisdom giving solution.
Ok. La gente piensa que si hacen dinero ellos van a ser más felices, pero aunque esto sí ayuda, esto no nos da felicidad de calidad. Hay quienes piensan que si tenemos un número de carros o casas, esto los hará felices, pero en un punto ellos se dan cuenta de que esto no lo es y ellos buscan otras formas. El dinero solo nos ayuda, pero hay situaciones en las que el dinero ya no nos puede dar más. A cambio de dinero podemos recibir muchas cosas, pero nos damos cuenta de que el dinero no compra todo en la vida, en especial la felicidad. Eso solo lo obtenemos desde dentro de nosotros mismos, desde nuestros sentimientos y pensamientos positivos, desde darnos cuenta de lo bueno que pasa a nuestro alrededor. Después de esto, podemos tener paz y felicidad. La felicidad depende de nuestra satisfacción interna, no de lo material. Depende de nuestros sentimientos, de lo que recibimos. Creamos felicidad desde adentro, descubriendo y creando nuestra propia felicidad desde nuestra identidad y a través de prácticas espirituales. La felicidad definitivamente no viene de elementos materiales. La sabiduría védica instruye a vivir una vida balanceada, ideal, que combina tu cuerpo, tu mente y tu espíritu. Ahora, la sociedad nos hace tomar en cuenta mucho nuestra salud corporal y cómo nos vemos, pero muchas veces dejamos de lado la salud mental y espiritual. Si tu mente está bien, puede cuidar de tu cuerpo, pero no siempre es viceversa. Si tu cuerpo está herido, tú no te vas a suicidar, pero si tu mente no está bien, tú sí puedes llegar a un suicidio. El balance es muy importante. Este balance es tan importante que es lo que nos va a ayudar a ser felices. Sin este balance, la felicidad es muy pequeña y es temporal. Cuando te apropies de esto, serás verdaderamente feliz, porque esta felicidad que te trae este balance es eterna y llegarás a ese sentimiento de dicha que buscamos. Entonces, esto es lo que tenemos que buscar, la dicha.
Good, you are expertly containing all the points. So, with regard to, in connection with the illusions of happiness, Vedic wisdom explains. Specifically, Lord Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita. Look, there are two types of happiness. The illusory happiness and real happiness. Illusion of happiness, which is just that of temporary nature, very futile, and the real happiness. He explains it through the term SREYA and preya. So the kind of happiness which begins very nicely, which begins with good taste, good attraction, everything, but as it goes further, continues further, it turns into poisonous effects. I repeat. So the kind of happiness called illusory type of gross type of happiness, which begins in a good way with some taste, nice taste and attraction and enchantment. But as it continues more and more in life, it turns into poisonous ways, brings more poisonous effects. That is called preya. Krishna says, you must reject that with the lights of wisdom, with the lights of higher intelligence and the wisdom. You must reject those ways of deriving happiness. Examples are there, like drinking a lot of alcohol. While the people, they're addicted to alcohol, drinking and drinking, they want to drink more and more, although their conscience saying it's not good. Still they cannot control it because they find some sort of attraction, happiness. Drinking excessive alcohol, excessive addiction of the drugs, eating excessive junk foods, sometimes exploiting others, trying to rule over the others, like it becomes so aggressive and torturous, and they're bullying over others and commanding ruthlessly. And they think they're enjoying something from that also, from exploitation. Even some people also enjoying murder, cold-blooded murder. They're making money. They're also receiving some sort of happiness from extreme misuse, We find people doing all bad stuffs and they're enjoying it. They're deriving some kind of satisfaction and happiness. So these are called tamasic happiness, tamasic, not real happiness. Illusory happiness, rather it is some sort of, like a external show, packaging of happiness, but which is not really happiness. Sometimes some evil activities tending to bring some happiness in some people, but they are evil happiness. Okay? Ultimately, they bring so much evil results, evil effects, which is bad for that person. He also suffers. He cannot get away from suffering of evil activities, no matter how much he enjoyed happiness. Okay, and also, he also causes so much suffering for others. So he causes suffering for himself, unhappiness for himself and also for others. So such type of happiness is, so-called happiness is considered very bad is called preya, should be summarily rejected. Okay. Then I will go next.
Esta, en conexión con la alusión a la felicidad, la sabiduría védica dice que hay dos tipos de felicidad, que ya mencionamos. Esta primera es la ilusión de felicidad, que es la primera, es común, que comienza muy bien, es atractiva, pero a largo plazo puede convertirse en veneno, como las drogas o alcohol. Esto hay que rechazarlo con sabiduría. Por dar un ejemplo, el alcoholismo. La gente que tiene alcoholismo sabe que no es bueno, pero lo encuentran atractivo. Y no solo eso, hay gente haciendo bullying a otros o comiendo de más, haciendo cosas malas, pero las disfrutan porque encuentran un tipo de felicidad haciendo esto, pero todo es una ilusión. Estas cosas vienen a veces envueltas de manera llamativa, pero traen en consecuencia mucha maldad. A esto se le llama, este tipo de felicidad, perdón, se le llama preo.
See, again, in other words, there are different types of perverted happiness. People think they are receiving some happiness through perverted activities, like raping, like, torturing or murdering, and many other bad things. They need to be summarily rejected. But actually, although they look like some sort of happiness in some people, but actually they cause great unhappiness in consequence. So Lord Krishna says, not happiness, be careful, be very, very careful.
La gente cree a veces que encuentra felicidad en cosas depravadas, como violaciones, asesinatos, entre otras cosas, pero esto en consecuencia trae mucha, mucha infelicidad. Ese tipo de cosas tienen que ser repudiadas.
That must be summarily rejected from life. If one wants to have real happiness, true happiness of high quality, must reject that side, that aspect of perverted happiness, prayer side.
Todo esto debe ser rechazado radicalmente, todo este tipo de felicidad preo.
Like drinking sweet poison. Oh, drinking, sweet drinks, but actually it's poison. Although it is bringing some temporary happiness in tongue, the next moment dying. There's so much illusions of so-called, bad type of happiness coming through exploitation and bad things. They are not. They are rather misery, suffering in the form of so-called happiness.
Por ejemplo, muchas cosas que tomamos que traen placer temporal a nuestra lengua y después muchísimas enfermedades. Este tipo de cosas no deben ser aceptadas.
On the other hand, Lord pointed out, real happiness, there's side of real happiness, world of real happiness, which is called SREYA. Often that kind of happiness may not begin with great taste, may or may not begin, with some, sorry, I just lost the thread, I repeat. So, he explained, see that real quality happiness may begin with bitter taste like bitter medicine. Okay, so it may not always begin with very high class, a very attractive taste, but as it continues further, as it goes further, it turns into nectarine taste, nectar taste in life. That is called real high quality, excellent type of happiness, human life. So that should be our goal. We should not deprive ourselves with some fake, perverted type of happiness. We should be awarding ourselves, should should be blessing ourselves with higher quality divine happiness.
Por otro lado, tenemos la felicidad real, que se llama SEO. Esto tal vez no llega con un buen sabor de boca, tal vez sepa como a medicina fea al principio, pero en cuanto avanza, sabe a néctar de vida. Este es un tipo excelente de felicidad y este debe ser nuestro oro, este debe ser nuestro propósito.
Yeah. I continue a little bit more explaining this. So again, there is this kind of real happiness, which is found in the mode of goodness, not found in the mode of passion or ignorance, which often also begins with nice, very good taste, but it may not always begin with very sweet, enjoyable taste and experience. But as it goes further, continues further, it turns into ambrosial experience. It turns into nectarian taste. In other words, it becomes the cause of bringing that higher quality happiness, super quality happiness, which continues all through the life, which is not of that of temporary fleeting nature, futile nature, which is more steady and deep and more solid, more high class, because ultimately that is related to divinity, ultimately is connected to the supreme, beautiful divinity, divine truth, none other than the Supreme Lord Krishna, Supreme Personality of the Divine Truth, who in one of the endeared names called as Krishna. So that happiness has been defined as preya. The term, Vedic term is preya. That, although it seems to be, in the beginning, it seems to be not real happiness, but that is, as it continues, it manifests as greatest happiness of life. It fulfills the life, human life, with so much happiness, real happiness, nectarian happiness. That should be our goal. So, Vedic wisdom giving solution that you must reject all the perverted, illusory concept of the happiness and must instead embrace the real happiness, which is free from all illusions, which is full of ambrosial experience on the ultimate stage. Great yogis, great devotees, realized devotees, great lovers of God, ecstatic lovers of God, realize that kind of happiness ultimately.
Voy a continuar explicando un poco más. Esto está encontrado en la bondad, no en la ignorancia. Es el néctar de vida. Nos da una felicidad superior, es más profunda, es más sólida, más estática, es avanzada, está conectada con el superior, con Krishna. Es felicidad. La felicidad de la que hablábamos anteriormente no vale la pena, pero esta felicidad es real, nos llena. Este debe ser nuestra meta. Debemos liberarnos de toda esa falsa ilusión que tenemos de felicidad.
Now I'm going into a little bit more analysis. So, food-wise, charity-wise, sleeping-wise, okay, and the way, in other words, the way we should eat healthy foods in the mode of goodness, the way we should sleep, we should think, we should be giving charity, we should be talking, we should be exchanging our thoughts, we should be behaving, okay, we should be doing things, doing our activities, karma in our life, should all be in the mode of goodness. avoiding, ignoring, rejecting the mode of passion and ignorance. That is Lord Krishna's guidance and direction. Although it is not so easily possible for the people to really reject their lifestyle of mode of activities, of mode of ignorance and passion. But Lord is saying but He is instructing, telling, giving the solution. The way of the kind of lifestyles you are all living in the mode of ignorance, passion, very material, grossly materialistic ways, it cannot bring any solution. It cannot bring real happiness to your life. It will bring little happiness, 5% happiness or 10% happiness, and cause 90% suffering, unhappiness in reaction. So this is not solution. Eliminate those less quality, gross type of your ways of happiness, lifestyle, and fully embrace lifestyle in the mode of goodness, whether in connection of eating, sleeping, drinking, meeting, talking, behaving, then many ways, relating to all people, relating everyone, acceptance of things, giving out, and acceptance of things, everything in the mode of goodness, then you will become really happy.
Analicemos un poco más. En cuestión de comida o sueño, por ejemplo, debemos comer, pensar, dormir, dar caridad, comportarnos de buena manera. Todo esto en calidad de bondad. Krishna nos guía en esto. Él nos instruye y da una solución y nos dice que dejemos la felicidad preo y busquemos ser realmente felices. Tenemos que dejar atrás ese 95% de infelicidad del que hablábamos anteriormente y realmente ser felices. Todo lo que hacemos en el día con día, como comer, caminar, dormir y nuestro comportamiento, tiene que ser de bondad y después de esto seremos realmente felices.
For example, people feel sad thinking about the death. In other words, people often feel so sad, feeling the fear of death. Here, Vedic wisdom gave solution. It's clearly explained through Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Upanishads, Vedanta. Try to be knowledgeable. First of all, please try to be knowledgeable. Try to have the lights of wisdom. So in the very beginning, you first understand that you don't die. Your material body just dies, like changing the dress. So when you actually understand that you yourself never dies, you are soul, you are not body, you are soul. So your soul is eternal. It just simply goes from one body to another body to another body. So actual you, your actual identity is your soul. You never die, your body dies. So as you become slowly in a steady way, as you become situated in that higher knowledge, wisdom about yourself, that you don't die. So you'll realize there's no question of fear of death. It's like sometimes some bodily suffering coming, you are taking some pain, but you are not really afraid of dying. Just temporary pain. Maybe I have to go through some surgery, but you are not really fearful, I'm going to die because of some bodily injury or some bodily pain. In a similar way, when the persons can be enlightened with the higher knowledge, spiritual knowledge, by knowing about one's own identity, real identity. I am deathless. I am actually eternal, immortal. I never die, my body dies. Okay, I live forever. Lord Krishna thoroughly explained in Bhagavad Gita about the Atma this way. So then that person can live a life, happily live life without fear of death. Because I don't die, why should I be fearful of death? Okay, maybe I have to take some little trouble before changing the body. So.
Por ejemplo, la gente a veces se siente triste pensando en la muerte, pero la sabiduría védica nos da una solución. Es claramente explicado desde el principio que tú no mueres, que es solo tu cuerpo material. Tú eres tu alma, solo vas de un cuerpo a otro. Tu identidad real es tu alma y debemos llevarnos a ese nivel de sabiduría y entender que no vas a morir y así ya no vas a tener miedo. Cuando la gente entiende que somos inmortales, así es cuando van a dejar de ser temerosos. Por ejemplo, cuando tú te cortas, no piensas que te vas a morir. Sabes que te puedes curar o que vas a tener una cirugía. Es lo mismo cuando morimos. Esto es un problema solamente temporal.
See, this is one of the sources, is one of the big causes of our big unhappiness, that we are going to die. You know, sadness for death. So now it is explained. Suppose, just try to remember. Yes, it is explained in Vedanta, Vedic knowledge, that fear of death is like having a, how do you say, having a bad dream. We call, there's a saying, while we're experiencing a very bad dream, a nightmare, called nightmare, bad dream. So, the wise persons realize also. So suppose somebody is having very bad dream, nightmare. Oh, tiger has attacked me, lion has attacked me, I'm going to die. So only a fool person will immediately try to take out a gun and where is the tiger, where is the lion, I'm going to kill that tiger. But the intelligent person will simply go and wake him up from that bad dream. Then immediately he will feel, oh, okay, I am fine. I was just simply having a bad dream. I was not really attacked by tiger or lion or being eaten by them, feeling so much intense agony while getting eaten by them. All just nightmares, just false dream. Okay, actually, I am fine. Similarly, okay, Lord says, when you wake up with higher consciousness on the higher plane of divine consciousness, immortal, which is characterized by immortality, okay, then and you realize you are immortal, you never die, okay, then you'll be fine, you'll be out of fear of death, or you're just having some nightmare, just a bad dream, you're thinking you're going to die, you're suffering so much, but as soon as you wake up on the plane of higher consciousness, higher spiritual, divine consciousness, then you realize you have not. Okay, you are not going to die. You are not really suffering, but it was like dream-like experience of suffering or no real suffering. You are fine. So that is the Vedic knowledge giving solution to the fear of death in this way.
Esta es una de las raíces de la tristeza, creer que vas a morir. Se explica en el conocimiento védico que el miedo a la muerte es como tener una pesadilla. Los sabios se dieron cuenta de que solo los tontos se van a despertar y buscar una pistola si sueñan que un tigre los está atacando. Pero la gente sabia va a despertar y darse cuenta que eso era solo un sueño. que era falso y que ellos están bien. Cuando llegas a la conciencia de que eres inmortal y no mueres, pasa lo mismo, y entonces perderás el miedo a la muerte y vas a jugar en un plano más alto. Te darás cuenta que no tienes absolutamente nada que temer.
In this way, see, we can create many illusions of our sufferings in our mundane life. We can get rid of those, those type of sufferings which we are not supposed to have with the higher awakening, with the higher lights of the knowledge about the real, actual truth of the reality, that I'm not supposed to take all this suffering. I'm creating it due to my illusion, due to my ignorance, due to my ignorance and due to my gross nature. I'm just creating all this suffering which originally I'm not supposed to have. If I become my own self, my own original self, when I identify it with my own original divine self, that I am soul, I'm high class quality, my identity is actually that of higher quality, much more than all this lower quality of that of ignorance, level of ignorance and passion, then that person can enjoy greater happiness with that discovery, with that higher awakenment on the higher plane of discovering about himself or herself, his own identity. So, with such divine higher awakenment, higher illumination, all these futile, gross sufferings take leave, go away. So, Vedic wisdom giving solution. If we follow them, practice them, apply them in our life, we can easily get rid of such all these mundane sufferings, unhappiness. Very practical. And those great realized souls did it in their life. And they're talking from their own experience. We have been successful. So you can also be successful following our path.
De esta manera puedes crear muchas formas de sufrimiento en esta vida mundana y realmente no deberíamos de tenerlas. La realidad es que no debemos tener todo este sufrimiento, lo estamos creando nosotros mismos. Cuando nosotros nos identificamos a nosotros mismos y entendemos que no somos una persona ignorante y que nuestra identidad está en nuestra alma y no en lo que creemos o lo que tenemos a nuestro alrededor, todo este sufrimiento se irá. Es fácil, a veces, es fácil deshacerse de todo este sufrimiento, pero debemos ser sabios para poder lograrlo.
Yes, so now I'm going to quote some of the verses. So long I have not quoted any verses to save some time. Like, as regards having the bad dream and getting rid of the bad dream and waking up from that nightmare. Like, sapna bachchaiva mittha. So sometimes you are having a bad dream. As soon as you wake up, you know. You understand it is false. It is false. But while during the time of having bad dream, it's looking like real. It felt real, almost going to have heart failure. Attack and screaming and trying to save life, having real pain, almost going to have heart failure, but actually happening nothing. False dream. In a similar way, we experience so much suffering and unhappiness. Oh, I'm so unhappy, and why I'm suffering. But as soon as we wake up on the higher plane of the truth, this plane of suffering, all this suffering gets false, like bad dream, fake, false. Then we laugh at ourselves. Oh, why we're taking so much suffering? It's false in the first place. So, good example, very good example. They're saying sapna bachchaiva mittha. like having so much suffering and unhappiness through bad dream. As soon as you wake up from the bad dream, all are finished. So discover that way. Discover the way of waking up, transcending this level of mundane level of pain and suffering. You can do it through high-class spiritual sadhana. And then that is the solution of your unhappiness.
Sí, hubo una cita de versos y la explicación es que a veces tienes malos sueños, pero cuando despiertas sabes que es falso, pero durante el sueño se siente muy real. Tratas de gritar, hay gente que puede llegar a casi tener un fallo cardíaco, pero eso no es real. Asimismo, este plano de sufrimiento no es real, es falso. Esto del sueño es un gran ejemplo de que debemos despertar de ese sueño malo y trascender de este nivel de dolor y de esa ilusión. Y esa es la solución.
Now I'm going to quote some verses in reference, in relation to what I've explained from Bhagavad Gita as regards soul. With regard to the soul, Acheddoyam si basangsi jitnani jatha vihaya navani grihnati naruparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirna nanyani sangjati navani dehi. Then Acheddoyam adajjoyam akliddo sosaivacha. This way. So there are many verses beautifully explaining about the identity of the soul, difference between our external bodily existence and soul's identity, describing that our real self is that we are soul. We are not body. Body is like more external dress, something attached to our soul. As we don't become fearful of changing one dress and accept another dress, okay, we change from one dress to another dress. Similarly, soul also changes body alike. So there's no reason of fearing the death, being fearful of the death, knowing that I am not dying. My body is dying, it is being changed. Okay, so it's happening. Those verses of that. Okay. Najayati mriyati va kadachit. Nayang bhutva bhavitava navya. Ajo nitta shashvato yang purana. Nahanyati annamani sharire. So, these are certain verses describing about. So, by explaining this way, by explaining about the nature of the soul, our real identity, Lord Krishna simply explained, you can be liberated from all fear of death. Okay. We also find from the example of Srimad Bhagavatam how Parikshit Maharaj, King Parikshita, became liberated from all fear of death, even before Takshaka came and acted like biting him. So, this way it is quite possible to just feel happy without any fear of death.
Hubo una cita de versos en referencia a lo que explicábamos anteriormente y explicamos que hay muchos versos que hablan de la identidad del alma, describiendo que realmente no somos un cuerpo, que esto es como un vestido y que cambiamos de uno a otro. Entonces no hay razón para temer a la muerte. A eso se refieren esos versos. Krishna explica que podemos ser liberados de todo el miedo a la muerte y así ser felices.
See, one of our Vedic prayers is that solution, giving solution. Om asato ma sat gamaya, tamaso ma jyotir gamaya, mritror mam amritang gamaya. Meaning of the prayers. O Divine Lord, please lead me from untruth towards truth, from darkness to light, from all mortality to immortality. I repeat, O my Lord, please lead me from untruth towards truth, from darkness of ignorance towards light. In other words, please lead me, guide me from my life of ignorance, darkness of the ignorance of my life towards immortal life, towards the illuminated life. Please lead me from my mortal existence towards immortal life, life divine. Okay.
Esta fue una oración védica que básicamente dice: oh Señor divino, guíame de la mentira a la verdad, de la oscuridad de la ignorancia a la luz. Llévame de lo mortal a lo inmortal.
See, one aspect of the underlying meaning of such prayer, that telling the Lord, oh Lord, I am not happy. I don't feel happy with my mortal existence. You know, my existence of untruth, untruthful existence, dark existence, mortal existence. So I want to get rid, I want to be liberated from my untruthful existence and approach, attain the existence of all truth. So I want to get rid, I want to be liberated from my untruthful existence, embracing my life of divine truth, eternal truth. Asatu ma sat kamaya. Then tamashu ma jyotir kamaya. Lord, I am so unhappy with my existence of darkness, life being covered with darkness of ignorance. I want liberation from this. Please liberate me, free me, and lead me from darkness to light, lights of your divine wisdom, by which wisdom I can experience of my life divine. Then next, please lead me. I'm so unhappy with my mortal existence. Please lead me from mortal existence towards immortality, my immortal life divine. See, Vedas giving solution in this way, so that we don't feel unhappy. Because we're always feeling unhappy with all these problems of our untruthful existence, futile, untruthful existence, our dark lifestyle, the different types of darkness of unhappiness, covering, influencing our life, and our mortal existence. Moreover, now he's saying, please, Vedas saying, please engage in prayer, wholehearted prayer to the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of all universal divine truth, who gave you your life, who created you, by whose potency you can maintain your being. By whose potency you have been created, by whose potency, power you are maintaining and sustaining your life, and by whose law of creation at some point you will be diluted. Your life will be dissolved through some bodily death. So pray, engage in prayer to him or her, that Supreme Personality of absolute divine truth, all pervading infinite divine truth. Then you'll be liberated from all such unhappiness of your mortal existence, untruthful mortal existence, and you'll find happiness, great happiness. So make that connection through prayers. And these are not just prayers. They are not just live deep prayers for making prayers. Through such prayers, we are being educated. We're actually being educated about how to solve our unhappiness of mortal existence, dark existence, untruthful existence. And I mean, by embracing, being blessed by truthful, lightful, illuminated, immortal, divine existence, giving solution to unhappiness. See? Okay.
Un aspecto de esta oración se refiere a que no somos felices con nuestra vida mortal y que no estamos satisfechos con lo que tenemos aquí y que queremos ser liberados de todo esto y llevados a la existencia de la verdad. Él citó una segunda oración en la que básicamente decimos: Señor, no quiero esta vida de oscuridad, libérame y llévame a la luz de la sabiduría para poder llegar a lo divino. Así, pedimos soluciones de esta falsa existencia de la oscuridad y la infelicidad que tenemos en este plano. Es una oración de todo corazón al Creador, a quien nos mantiene y sostiene nuestra vida. Tienes que orar a Él, a esa verdad divina, y después serás liberado de la ilusión falsa. Busca esa conexión con Él a través de oraciones reales. Busca ser bendecido a través del Supremo.
Smartly doing your job. Nice. So, and these are not just prayers. These prayers have meaning. You can actually have that. Not just, it means not just you are engaging in prayers, some very nice prayers to Supreme Lord, no good result will come from that. Nothing will come, just imaginarily speculate. No. This is something most important to understand. Such prayers are living prayers. They are not live deep, some just live deep prayers or some sort of superficial prayers. Such prayers are living, alive. And through such prayers to the Supreme Lord and practices by spiritual practicing of life of Krishna consciousness, actually people can have that life. They can actually be led by Supreme Lord, by Supreme Divine Truth, with the blessings, with the grace, okay, with the gracious help of the Supreme Divine Truth. They can actually transfer, go from the state of untruthfulness, untruthful life towards the eternal, truthful life divine. From the state of, from the state of darkness, of ignorance, can actually attain to the state of divine, worlds of divine light, lights of wisdom, divine wisdom, divine Krishna conscious life. You can actually go, take leave from the mortal existence for immortal world. So they can actually be led by the grace, by the power of the grace of the Supreme Lord, the absolute good, who is also in other ways called as absolute good. He loves us, he's absolute good also, not just absolute almighty, absolute good. So, by the grace of that absolute good, we can be led. We can take a journey from this plane of mortal existence towards immortality, immortal life. So it can be realistically possible. So this is given as a realistic solution by the Vedic wisdom. Not just prayers. If the people think, oh, just prayers. No. Prayers is many meaningful prayers. Otherwise, there will be no meaning of such prayers if the result doesn't come. What's the use of resultless prayers? It's not, then it will be speculation kind. Oh, very nice, nicely sounding prayers, very nice thought, but actually doesn't happen anything. It's not that. It's actually a realistic prayer, which realistically blesses us with life divine, Truthful, immortal, beautiful, enlightened, life divine, giving solution. Yes.
Estas no son solo oraciones, esto tiene significado. Estas oraciones no son palabras superficiales solamente, tienen mucha verdad. La gente puede ser realmente guiada por el Supremo y sobrepasar esta oscuridad e ignorancia a la vida divina y el mundo inmortal, a lo que conocemos como lo absolutamente bueno, y por la gracia de esto podemos ir a la vida inmortal. Es real. Estas oraciones son reales, no son solo palabras bonitas, va mucho más allá.
See other prayers from Upanishad, from the Vedas, Vedantas, at this. See, we remember, you can find in Rig Veda. I think these are well-known verses by the New Age people who follow Vedic spirituality. Okay. Who follow Sanatana Dharma, they know. Om Madhubata Ritayate Madhuksharanti Sindhava Madhirna Santoshadhi Madhunakto Mutosashi Madhumat Parthivang Raja Madhudaurastana Pita Madhudaurastana Pita Madhumana Vanaspati. Then Madhuman Vanaspati Madhuman Asti Surja Madhuman Astu Surja Om Madhur Madhir Gavo Bhavantu Naha Om Madhu. I repeat, because I have not chanted about this verse for a long time, so remember it. I repeat. Om Madhubata Ritayati Madhuksharanti Sindhava Madhirna Santoshadhi Madhunakto Mutosashi Madhumat Parthivang Raja Madhudaurastana Pita Madhumanna Vanaspatihi Madhumanna Vanaspati Madhumang Astu Surjaha Madhir Gavo Bhavantuna Om Madhu. Meaning, no. Madhuvata Ritayati, whole surroundings. I see whole surroundings filled with some sweetness, sweet winds. Our merciful Lord, our merciful divine Lord, so mercifully created beautiful surroundings for us to live our life. In the Lord's world we are living, the world created by Lord we are living in. See, so it's full of so much virtues, so much beautiful qualities, beautiful winds blowing, sweetness. Sweet winds are blowing. Madhuvata Ritayati Madhuksharanti Sindhava, whole surrounding as if, giving out, manifesting sweetness, natural sweetness. Sindhu, the Samudra, the ocean. See, beautiful wind is manifesting sweetness as it is blowing. Beautiful ocean is manifesting its beauty, majestic beauty and sweetness as it is, as it is in its own action, oceanic activities. Madhuksharanti Sindhava Madhirna Santoshadhi. See, the osadhi, the herbs, herbal remedies are bringing sweet results by promoting health, curing sickness, promoting health. Madhirna Santoshadhi, Madhunakto Mutosashi, Madhumat Parthivang Rajashi. Even all the dust of the earth, Mother Earth, so created so that it is also manifesting sweetness in a way that it is it is giving birth to the fertile soil, giving birth to many trees and, fruit trees and plants, giving us our food. Madhumat Parthivang Raja. Then Madhu Daurastana Pita, our forefathers also receiving some sweetness. Our fathers, our parents, grandparents, forefathers, they also share such sweetness. Then Madhumana Vanaspati. So even all our relatives, Madhu Daurastana Pita, our father figures have all experienced before us the sweetness of this Mother Earth everywhere. And therefore, being born from them, the meaning is that being born from our fathers, we are also inheriting such sweetness. Madhumana Vanaspati, see, there are so many beautiful fruit trees giving so much fruits and vegetables for our food, for the maintenance, sustenance of our life. Madhumam Ostu Surjaha, even sun also manifesting sweetness. In this way, we're living within the atmosphere environment of sweetness and sweetness. Om Madhu, Om Madhu, Om Madhu. Let our life, let our whole life and living become filled with sweetness and sweetness, natural sweetness as manifested by the Supreme Universal Divine Truth.
Sutta?
Yes.
Mandala.
Yes. So now I should explain a little bit more about sweetness, because people may not be able to realize, people may not be able to understand how sun can be sweet, how everything, ocean can be sweet. Here, the term sweetness being used here in the sense of the meaning of something, sweet means something very favorable, beneficial to us. See, if anything is very favorable and beneficial, very healthy in our life, we say, oh, it's so sweet. If anything is so beautiful, we just make expression, oh, it's so sweet of you. It doesn't mean always like sugar sweetness. Okay, sugary sweetness. Sweetness here, the term sweetness is being used here in a wider sense of the meanings. It means something which is bringing so much health, so much happiness, okay, so much beauty in our life is being called as sweet in that sense.
Yes.
Okay. So in that sense, we have to understand the meaning of sweetness here. Everything is emanating and manifesting sweetness in Lord's creation to nurture our life. We are living within sweetness all around. Sweetness is all around us as manifested by the Supreme Creator in this our earthly plane. Everywhere where we are living, He is so merciful. He has created us, and He has also created such an environment, favorable environment around us, so conducive to live our life happily with sweetness, sweet results. That's the meaning.
Very nice. Es un himno.
Entonces, el significado de las citas que él dio es que tenemos que ver todo lo que nos rodea, todo lo que es bello y que fue creado con misericordia por nuestro Creador. Él lo hizo para que lo disfrutemos. Es una dulzura natural. El mar y su actividad, los vientos, las hierbas que curan enfermedades, trayendo salud, incluso el polvo de la madre naturaleza. Todo es tan dulce. Ver cómo crecen en el suelo plantas y árboles que dan frutos. Nuestra familia, figuras paternas, todos ellos han disfrutado desde antes que nosotros la dulzura de este mundo y eso es parte de nuestra herencia. Disfruta la dulzura de la vida. Por dulzura les explico que en este término me refiero a que es algo que nos beneficia. No es dulzura de azúcar, habla de algo que nos da salud, belleza, felicidad y la dulzura está en nuestro alrededor. Nuestro Creador, es tan misericordioso que ha creado todo esto para que nosotros podamos disfrutarlo.
Well, some immediate question can arise. We don't find such atmosphere in this modern world. We don't find, Maharaji, we don't find such a way, such an environment in this modern world, which is filled with so many evil activities, war activities. So during the war activities, war situation, how can we experience such type of sweetness all around as it is explained to this verse? In answer, we'll say, see, this verse is dedicated to describe about the natural beauty and sweetness as manifested by the Supreme Creator. He did not create war situation. These are all created, artificially created by human beings. So human beings, their evil nature of the human beings, very envious, greedy, evil nature of the human beings are actually responsible to create war situation and destroying the environment, making the whole environment unsweet and unhappy, full of suffering. Supreme God didn't do it. Our mother nature never does that. Okay. Even some natural calamity also happens by some sinful reactions of the sinful activities of many, many human beings. Some natural calamities come due to that. So, but the way Supreme Lord originally created this world, so beautiful, so sweet, so nice to live our life, happily live our life. So Mother Nature is not causing our unhappiness. All these greedy humans, politically motivated, greedy humans, so motivated to exploit, torture others, okay, evilly motivated for their evil greed, great evil nature. They are creating such war situation and causing so much suffering to the humans in the name of so-called benefits of this country or that country, their ego, political egos, at the cost of human lives. Look, at the cost of human lives. War for peace, war for what? To kill the human lives. At the cost of so many good human lives, trying to bring peace. For all these. So anyway, such type of bad situation is created by human beings, not created by nature, natural creation. So if anybody has that question, how can be applicable? We have to say, stop war, stop your evil activities. Human beings are responsible for that. Stop your evil activities. That situation will again come. That natural environment will come full of sweetness all around. Just I'll take a little more.
Y la pregunta es, ¿por qué no encontramos esto, toda esta dulzura en este mundo moderno? ¿Cómo podemos experimentar esta dulzura en tiempo de guerra? Solo quiero dejar en claro que Él no creó la guerra. Por la maldad, avaricia y codicia de los humanos, Él es que se ha creado. El Dios Supremo y la Madre Naturaleza no lo han creado. Es por lo pecaminoso del ser humano. El Dios Supremo creó todo lo bueno y los humanos avariciosos, movidos por la política y otras cosas, son quienes crean todo este sufrimiento y esto cuesta vidas humanas tratando de traer paz. Debemos parar esto y así ese sistema natural regresará.
See, there are other verses such as Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya. Then Sarve Bhadrani Pashantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavit, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavit. Beautiful prayers. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya. May everyone become very happy. Let there be happiness for everyone. In other words, may everyone be very happy, joyful. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramaya. May everyone stay healthy, okay, free of diseases and sickness, free of suffering of sickness. Then, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Let everyone see, may everyone see good things all around, auspicious things all around. Instead of being fault finder, may everybody see all the good qualities, good things, good virtues all around from the environment and human lives. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. And by seeing all the good things, auspicious things all around, he also becomes filled with that auspiciousness and goodness, a good mode of goodness. Ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhave. Never ever share the aspect of suffering. Ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhave. So, you participate, you embrace all these. So, may sarve bhavantu sukhina. May everyone be very happy. May sarve santu nirama. May everyone be free of sickness, live healthy life, very healthy. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Everyone see may everyone see and accept the auspiciousness from the environment, but never accept any suffering. Okay? Never accept anything from the sorrow, from misery of life. Okay, so you only accept the good things. You don't accept the sufferings or, grief of the grief side of the life. Distress. Don't take part of distress. So, in that way, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. So, you can share everything, all good things, but don't share the bad suffering aspect of bad suffering. Then see Vedic mantra. We have got mantra Om Swastino Govinda, Swastino Jutananto, Swastino Vasudeva, Vishnu Tadhatu, Swastino Narayana Naro, Swastino Purushottama Harit Tadhatu. Swasti means let everything be auspicious and full of benediction, higher good. Swasti means that. Lord Govinda, Lord Narayana bring all this peace and auspiciousness, peace and happiness in our life. Prayer. Solution, giving solutions. Then other thing. Om Do Shanti, Antariksham Shanti, Prithvi Shanti, Apo Shanti, Vayu Shanti, Ushadhaya Shanti, Loka Shanti, Brahmana Shanti, Brahmana Vaishnava Shanti. Then Om Shanti Rastu, Hriti Rastu, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. These are not just prayers. The meanings of that, let there be all auspiciousness all around, everywhere. Let those Shanti. Let this earth, may this Mother Earth become full of auspiciousness, full of benediction. So, Antariksham Shanti, may the whole space become full of auspiciousness, this space which is carrying many good stuffs, also bad stuffs. Some bad rays also coming, bad effects also coming, good things also coming through ethereal medium. So, may this space, may this earth become all auspicious, may this space become full of auspiciousness. Antariksham Shanti, Vayu Shanti, may the wind which we are breathing in be full of auspiciousness and benefits. Vayu Shanti, Tejas Shanti, may the sun rays and all the heat, fire become full of auspiciousness, doesn't cause any harm, so that may the Shanti Oshadha, may all the herbs may all the herbs be not polluted, okay, in artificial way. May they also remain healthy, as healthy remedy full of auspiciousness. May all the people, people and the devotees, great spiritualists, all remain filled with auspiciousness. See, Vedic wisdom, Vedic prayers giving solution, practical solutions to unhappiness, wanting to make everything happy. And when one engages in such prayers, powerful prayers with full heart, it has effect. It doesn't remain like speculative prayers. It creates effect in the environment in a subtle way. Therefore, when we perform the yagyas, Vedic yagyas with mantras, it creates some beneficial effect, subtle way, whether or not we understand. It purifies the whole environment, everything. And they are giving great solutions in this way, subtle way. Yes, please. One more, then I will finish.
Estas oraciones son maravillosas. Hablan de permitir que todos sean felices, que sean libres de enfermedades. Piden que todos puedan ver lo bueno a su alrededor, las virtudes buenas, y que nuestro Dios jamás permita que la gente comparta sufrimiento o miseria en esta vida, tampoco el luto. Que solo haya cosas buenas que compartir y no malas. Pedimos que todo sea beneficioso, que haya paz y felicidad en nuestra vida. Estas no son solo simples oraciones. Hablamos de que pedimos que todo a nuestro alrededor esté lleno de cosas buenas, de beneficios, y que todas las cosas malas no nos dañen. Que todos y todo sean protegidos. Estas oraciones, si son de todo corazón, tienen efectos beneficiosos, son reales.
And finally, now I have almost come to the final stage of explanation. So, thus, Vedic knowledge, Vedic wisdom gives us solutions to all the problems, many problems in our material life, solutions to unhappiness, in other words, giving solutions for deriving, for creating real high-class happiness in our lives. Because until and unless we follow these principles, we simply depend on only material solutions to get rid of the material unhappiness, only material solution. It doesn't work, because we are not just material being, we are also spiritual being, we are alive. So it is a question of life. So our happiness can never be depending only on material things, material solutions. There has to be solutions from the level of consciousness, from the level of spirit, mind and spirit, besides objective material solutions. Because our existence twofolded, there are objective nature and subjective nature. So there has to be solutions derived from the subjective level of existence, spiritual level of existence, because real happiness is also derived from within, from the deeper spiritual level, not from outside material level. They cannot make us happy. Yes.
Y finalmente, quiero decir que el conocimiento védico nos da soluciones a nuestra infelicidad y a la falsa felicidad. Seguir estos principios nos permitirá que nuestra felicidad no dependa de lo material, sino que sea en espíritu. La felicidad real viene de adentro, no es algo que se encuentra por fuera.
So, in conclusion, Vedanta Upanishadic messages of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Chaitanya Charitamritam gave us the solution, told us. So far I just explained the medium level of, medium best quality of the happiness. But in conclusion, I have to say, when we want to, now as we go higher and higher, deeper and deeper in the world of attainment of happiness, then it reaches the level of divine ecstasy and blissfulness. No matter how much we engage in good activities of life, it cannot fully make us happy. No matter how much knowledge we acquire in our life, it also cannot make us fully happy. Somewhat happy. Karma, good karmas, good activities, pious activities can make us somewhat happy. Then above that, or aside from that, alongside, I would say, alongside that, acquiring of knowledge, higher knowledge and wisdom also can make us happy to some extent. But none of them can make us fully happy, finally happy, until and unless we receive the ecstatic love of God, Krishna prema, Bhagavat prema. So therefore, our final goal of receiving the finest, highest quality of happiness, okay, super excellent, highest quality of divine happiness, transcendental happiness, in the ecstatic love of God, blissful love of God, until and unless we enter into that world, until and unless we attain that, human beings cannot be fully happy. So the highest fulfillment, the highest liberation of all happiness, it meaning the highest fulfillment or culmination of all our happiness is found in the ecstatic love of God, eternal, immortal, blissful, divine love of God. That is the conclusion of receiving the finest, highest, transcendental divine happiness in life. Okay, and after you explain, after you translate, then I will be quoting few verses, then I will end.
En conclusión, el mensaje es que Krishna nos da la solución. Debo decir que cuando vamos más y más profundo en todo esto, llegaremos a un nivel más alto de dicha. Nada que hagamos en este plano nos hará realmente felices hasta que no aprendamos a recibir el amor y la felicidad divina que nos da Krishna. Hasta que no estemos en este nivel, no entenderemos el divino amor de Dios.
So, because it is one of the essential messages, substantial messages of Bhagavad Gita is this. All activities gets liberation into Jnanam. All karmas gets liberation, means gets fulfillment into higher knowledge divine, and all Jnanam, means knowledge gets liberated, becomes fulfilled, finds fulfillment in prema, ecstatic love of God. Okay. So, see, so final happiness comes in ecstatic love of God. Yes.
Uno de los mensajes substanciales dice que todas las cosas son liberadas a través del gran amor del Dios.
Es que es una secuencia. Las actividades materiales que realizan. Ok, es un poquito técnica esta última explicación. Maharaj nos está diciendo que el gran mensaje de Bhagavad Gita es que las actividades, karma, actividades, se liberan por medio del conocimiento, jnanam, por medio de la sabiduría, ¿no? El conocimiento aplicado, se liberan. Y esa parte de todas maneras nos ata a cierta modalidad. I am understanding you allow me saying that jnanam binds people to godness only, not to the highest level or transcendental level. Can I do as the explanation? Because
they cannot reach the highest level of ecstasy.
Yes,
Bliss.
I understand.
Yes.
I understood. I
Through Gyanam.
can explain, I can translate. So.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, entonces, las actividades, pues, para liberarse necesitamos conocimiento. Pero eso todavía nos ata a un nivel de felicidad más mental o intelectual, no del plano trascendental o espiritual. Para lograr ese plano, lo que necesitamos es el nivel que se llama prema, que es amor. ¿Amor de quién y por quién? Amor del Ser Supremo hacia nosotros y de nosotros hacia el Ser Supremo. Es decir, el yoga en su más alto nivel, la unión de amor por Dios o amor con Dios.
And herein I'm going to give you some examples referring to some verses from the spiritual scripture. That Supreme Lord is Ananda Sharupa. Like Ananda Brahmano Vidya. You know, Ananda means bliss.
Yes, I know.
Final bliss. Ananda Brahmano Vidya na vivedi kutasthana. In another verse, Om Rasho Vaishaha Rasham Chevayam Labdhanandi Bhavati. Rasho Vaishaha means his Rasha Sharup. The Supreme He or Supreme She is the personification of all rasas, of transcendental bliss. Supreme He, Supreme She is none other than the personification, embodiment of the all divine bliss. Rasho Vaishaha Rasanga Jivayam Labdhanandi Bhavati. By embracing, by receiving some taste of that divine rasa, means bliss, one becomes so fulfilled and blessed. Labdhanandi Bhavati becomes so very fulfilled with that taste of bliss, bliss and bliss, to the limitlessness. One's own identity becomes filled and inundated with bliss and bliss. So, we want to, okay.
En estas citas hablamos de dicha, que el Supremo es la personificación de todo lo trascendental, de la dicha divina. Recibiendo eso, seremos muy llenos y bendecidos con dicha ilimitada.
Es un verso muy importante, bueno, es un aforismo muy importante de los Vedas. No, está bien así.
Okay, now no time. So, then another verse. See, Nigama Kalpataru Galitang Phalam. See, Nigama Kalpataru Galitang Phalam Shukamukha Damita Dravasang Jutam Pivato Bhagavatam Rashamalayam. It is the infinite house, infinite capital of all rasas, divine blissful love of God. Srimad Bhagavatam. The nature of Srimad Bhagavatam is being explained as the source, or like infinite domain, Rashamala, infinite domain, capital, all ecstatic love of Krishna. Muhuraho Rashika Bhuvi Bhavuka. Oh, yea, all the fortunate souls, all the greatly fortunate souls, dive deep into the taste, nectarine taste of this infinite ocean of Srimad Bhagavatam. Be swimming, dive deep into this nectar ocean of the blissful love of God through Srimad Bhagavatam. See, you want to translate?
Okay. Se refiere que en el Srimad Bhagavatam, que es una escritura muy importante debido a que resume a lo largo de sus 12 cantos. Bueno, eso ya lo estoy agregando yo para explicar un poco, contextualizar. Resume todo este conocimiento de los Vedanta, que es el Vedanta significa la finalidad u objetivo final de los Vedas, del conocimiento. Vedas significa conocimiento, a final de cuentas. Entonces, lo que se dice es que ese nivel máximo es como el árbol Kalpataru, es un árbol que satisface todo deseo desde el punto de vista de esa felicidad que buscamos en el plano más elevado.
Sí,
right?
Srila Rupa Goswami defining Krishna's character, nature of Krishna is Akhila Rasamrita Murti, the embodiment, unlimited embodiment of all infinite ecstatic love mellows. That is Krishna.
Okay. De acuerdo con Rupa Goswami, uno de los más grandes maestros y filósofos de este conocimiento védico, particularmente especializado en estos temas, dice que Krishna es como el reservorio, la fuente donde están todas las velocidades del amor extático en el plano más elevado, pues vamos, de existencia, ¿no? Satchidananda, ¿no? Satchidananda.
And then in Brahma Samhita, I'm coming to that verse. In Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchid Ananda Vigraha Anadiradis Govinda Sarva Karana Karan. See, Lord Krishna is being meant to this, but Ananda Vigraha, personification of infinite bliss. Infinite bliss. So then another verse, okay, from Brahma Samhita. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitadi. See, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitadi. Not only Krishna himself is the supreme personification or infinite, unlimited ocean of divine bliss, but also his Leela, his the where he lives, the surroundings where he is living. Okay, his Leela, nature of his Leela, the nature, the surroundings where he is living in and doing his Leela, all full of bliss. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitadhi Stavirja Eva Nijarupa Taya Kaladhi. Okay, he himself is the supreme unlimited personification of all ecstatic bliss, and his Leela, his artistic ways of manifestations, his associates, all his activities also always emanating infinite blissfulness. See,
I think that you have very high with the explanation. Maharaj ahora está explicando una de las partes más podríamos decir, como más profundas, pero ya muy profundas del conocimiento védico, donde se describe que Krishna, supremamente atractivo, la fuente de todo placer, es una fuente ilimitada de dicha. Por eso el yogi, bueno, yogis no encuentran felicidad. Yogis find happiness in yoga with God, loving through love.
through union.
Yes, because he is limited.
Super soul.
Sí. No, super soul, no, Bhakti yogis, Bhakti yogis,
Okay.
Bhakti. Sí, mediante esa relación de, digamos, de amor por el Ser Supremo se encuentra entonces en una condición de dicha ilimitada. No tiene fin. Él es Ananta Rupam, es la forma, Krishna es la forma propia de esa dicha. O sea, su forma es dicha pura, pero en plano espiritual. Como
Sí.
plano espiritual. Y
Another verse, so you have not completed. See.
Okay.
Another verse. Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vikrahasya. That verse.
And then I see, no.
From Brahma Samhita, see?
Yes, I knew that.
Angani Jasya Sakalendriya Vritti Manti Pashanti Kanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vikrahasya Govinda Mari Purusham Tamahambaya. Supreme Lord being described as Anandam and Anandam, from the beginning to end, full of Anandam.
Yeah. Sí, en ese Krishna, el ser supremo, en su propia esencia está algo que había dicho antes de que no acabé todavía en esa parte anterior, es que no solo es la fuente y es la esencia de la bienaventuranza o dicha, sino que además su actividad, porque él está lleno de actividades permanentemente, sus actividades también son dichosas. Su morada es dichosa y todos sus asociados o almas que viven con él de alguna manera u otra también son dichosas. Y en esta última parte, Ananda Shinmaya se dice que él es precisamente eso, o sea, todo eso es una cantidad infinita, es decir, uno conoce el límite, y al no decir que no conoce el límite, entendemos que está pues más allá de todo tiempo y espacio, eso ya lo estoy yo agregando como parte de la comprensión que gracias a Maharaj ahora hay.
So reaching the final conclusion about this today's topics. So we the humans, everyone, can only reach the final level of happiness. If they want to have the finest, super excellent, highest quality of happiness, they have to approach love of God. And they can only find it, attain it in loving devotional service of God, in having love relationship with God. Okay, because since Supreme God is the infinite embodiment, is the infinite reservoir and personification of all divine blissfulness. So without the attainment of that Supreme God, our happiness cannot be perfect, cannot reach the final level, finest quality. So this is what I want to just say in final conclusion, and then I rest here.
Sí, no puedes traducir completo todo eso que dijo ahorita, ¿no?
En conclusión, nosotros los humanos podemos llegar a ese nivel de felicidad a través de aproximarse al amor del Supremo. Él es la personificación de la dicha. Sin él no podemos llegar a ese nivel tan alto.
So, final happiness can be received in ecstatic love of God.
La felicidad final puede solamente recibirse de todo ese amor del Supremo.
Yes.
Namaste.
Loving regards to all of you, the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
Saludos amorosos a todos ustedes.